It's kind of a weird sound because it's some of everything I've been through. It's a street sound, experiencing different things coming up in the hood, and also it has a touch of class to it because of the fact when I met a lady by the name of Lena McLean, she taught me a lot of class, took me to a lot of operas and things like that. So I come up with shebang swing when I listen to what I've been through, because it was a whole swinging type of situation, swinging to the left, swinging to the right. But what I come up with, what my homies come up with, is a shebang swing. That's what we end up with after dealing with the streets and all, and then having class and not choosing the gangs and stuff like that. And that's what I come up with, the shebang swing. Well, everything I come up with, it definitely have to be an experience. And Born into the 90's is sort of like a musical pregnancy in a way. The reason I say that is because 9 months ago is when I met Barry Hankerson, my manager. And 9 months ago, before that, I was going through a whole lot of stuff with the group that I was with and management that I was with, and it was taking me through a whole lot of situations. We won a lot of money, and I didn't get paid. I produced and wrote the songs and choreographed, and we was on Nally Cole Big Break, and I didn't get paid the money that I was supposed to get paid. So therefore, we moved on, and I said, okay, if I'm not gonna get paid, I'm gonna get away from the group, so, which was the only smart thing to do, because if they did it then, they would have did it in the future. So the day I broke up with the group was the day I met Barry Hankerson 9 months ago. And we started negotiating with Jive Records on my deal and everything. And it took us like 9 months to get out of the contract that I was in, out of the contract with the group, and get on to new and better things, and my own solo deal. And Vibe came along, and it's like, I looked at that like labor, I was being born. So he was like, what do you want to call the album? Then I went in and wrote a song called Born into the 90's, and that was it. And I decided to choose that name because it took like 9 months, and it was like a joke. We used to make a joke of it. It took 9 months to get out of the deal, which is pretty fast for all of the stuff I had to get out of to get into this. So we decided to call it. I said, man, I'm gonna call this album Born into the 90's, because it was like labor kicking and all of this scratching to get out of what I was in and get into the world the right way, Yeah, when you do what I do, and then you grab 3 guys who is not into music, don't know what it's like to love music, don't know what it's like to sit and just don't want to do nothing but music and write and sleep, eat and drink it. And it's hard for them to understand, and even believe it or not, right now to this day, I feel sorry for them, and I'm sorry that it happened like that. But I really didn't want it to happen because they just didn't know any better. I wish they would have known better. That's all I wanted them to do, is know better, because I put 2 years of hard work into them, and although I knew I would move on, because nothing can stop me, as far as this is concerned, because I love it too much, But it's a shame when you don't know. It's a difference when you know and you do it, but they just didn't know. They actually felt we should get equal share of the money and everything. All they did was dance. Me, myself, I started out like when I was 9, my mom had me doing Marvin Gaye tunes and stuff. She bought me a guitar and she bought me a Long Ranger. She didn't force me to play with any one of them. I chose the Long Ranger until I broke it, Once I broke the Long Ranger, I started messing around with the guitar, and I found a few notes that sound interesting to me. So I started messing around, singing the Marvin Gaye, slowing up the record to get Stevie Wonder runs and things like that. And as a matter of fact, I met Stevie in a bathroom the other day, and I actually done a run for him that I used to slow up the record, and I got so hyped and frantic, I kind of missed a piece of the run because I was just crazy over that I met Stevie Wonder for the first time in my life. I grew up listening to him so many times and slowing up the record and everything. So after that, I got off into basketball and cheerleaders and stuff like that. I got away from the music for a minute, and then I got in high school. I met a lady by the name of Lena McLean, who's my vocal teacher, and also my pastor and my second mother. She's like everything to me. So she picked me out of 50 people and told me I was going to be the next Stevie Wonder. And I said, I laughed at her, then I said, this lady's crazy. She don't even know me from Adam. How's she gonna tell me I'm into basketball? What is she talking about? But she told me I would be that while she was playing church chords on the piano. I didn't play piano or anything. I knew I could sing, but I didn't, know it was all of that. So she made me get up in front of these people, put on some black glasses, and walk around like Stevie Wonder. It was the most embarrassing part of my life, and in front of all of these kids. But when I opened my mouth to sing A Ribbon in the Sky, all of them, the kids, they laughed, but they loved it, and it was a good feeling, and it seemed like it brought all of the kids together for some reason, Then she made me do the same thing at a talent show where it was like 200 kids there in the talent show in the gym. So I sang, and they all loved it. They stood up clapping and cheering all through the song, and then I won the talent show. So that was the start of inspiration, a kind of special inspiration. An inspiration that made me say, this is what I want to do, because I haven't gotten this feeling on the basketball court. They definitely don't stand up and cheer for me when I run up and down the basketball court, because it wasn't that serious. But I looked at that and I said, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is all I know how to do. I've never made anybody stand up and love me like that, doing anything else. And I loved it too, And from that day on, she told me, I want you to write songs. You're going to be a great writer. I want you to start messing around with the piano, I said, but I don't read music. She said, it doesn't matter. You got a natural gift. God has given you, poured talent on you. You just do it. And that right there it inspired me so much. It felt like I was being touched or something, because I started messing around with the piano, and then I learned how to play. And it was amazingly, the time, it was real rapid how I learned how to play the piano, And I said to myself, this lady could tell me to go move a building, and I believe I could go budge it. That's how much power she had over me, And it came out to everybody was like, man, you learned how to play the piano, man? Yeah, check this out. I sung every time you turn around. I wrote a song on the piano. I wrote a graduation song, and she had me to do it in front of the graduation people. And they usually don't do that. They usually stick to the same graduation march every year. And she had me to do a song called Class of '84 that I wrote. And she let me perform it. She knew what she was doing, because she was setting me up to not be afraid to go for this. And she was setting me up because she saw ahead for me when I didn't know what I would be doing. I didn't even really care at one point in my life, because we didn't have anything. My mother was, we were, growing up in a hard, way of getting money how we could, aid checks and all of that type of, stuff. So I didn't see a future for me at that point. All I know is I wanted to be somebody. I don't want to be a gang member. I don't want to be out here robbing nobody. I didn't want to be doing anything negative. I just wanted to be a superhero. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but like Spider-Man got bit by the spider, Peter Parker always wanted to be somebody, and it happened for me musically. I'm not going to say I'm a Christian and all that, but you got to be somewhat protected in yourself. You got to pray, just hope to God that, nothing happens to you. And especially if you got a goal and you're trying to accomplish something, God knows that. He knows what I'm trying to do, and he doesn't prepare you to fail. He prepare you to succeed. And as long as you know that, when you go out in the streets, you have to give off a certain energy. Like, I've had guys run up to me in my hood with guns. We playing football. They run up to us with guns. Everybody give me a quarter. You give them a quarter. You give them a quarter and you go on. It could have went wrong. They could have took the quarter, they could have shot us and did certain things, but it's a spirit you carry. You just be a positive person and just pray to God that nothing happens to you, and also pray for those that run around killing and trying to rob people and things like that, and hope that they get better. That's what my music eventually is going to turn into. Right now it's a street type of happy thing. Everybody got that vibe, honey love, the ladies and all. But eventually people are going to see a side of me that from my first album, they never thought they would probably see. But by that time, it's gonna be so much love from my music, there's gonna be like, it doesn't matter. The same with like Michael. He came out of one thing and then pow, he was into something totally different. But it didn't matter because people love him as a person. And I want people to love me as a person first. You know, therefore they can automatically get into my music because I'm all into my music. My personality is all just overflowing in my music. Everything about it is, this album is strange because Vibe came about when the album was done. I was walking down the streets with my manager, Barry Hankerson, in New York. And I spoke to a very beautiful young lady in a nice way, and she didn't speak back, you know. So when she didn't speak back, I was like, man, what's wrong? You know, what did I say that was so crazy? But my manager said, don't even worry about it, man. Sometimes people out in New York, girls in New York, they got this weird vibe about themselves sometimes. I pulled out my dictaphone and I said, man, I got the single in my head as soon as you said that. I said, I got the first single. He said, but the album is done. I said, man, I have the first single. Now the album was ready for press and everything to be pressed. I said, man, you gotta sneak me back in the studio, man. I just gotta lay this single, cause the way I'm hearing it, you not hearing it. I'm hearing it on the radio, I'm seeing the video right now in my head. You gotta let me do this. So he said, okay, we'll sneak you back in. I believe in you, know. We'll sneak you back in, take you to the studio, show it to the company. So I'm like, okay, cool. I felt so good that he gave me the opportunity to believe in me, to go into the studio, that inspired me even more. And every time I write a song, I think about Lena McLean, you know, because I have sat and saw her write. She right off the top of her head and fulfilled the whole song right in front of my face. And she knew what she was doing because I do that now. I can do that. You know, I could be sitting here and just write a song, you know. So we went to the studio, I laid it down as a demo. We showed it to the company. They said, this is the first song. This is the first single. She's got that vibe. And I laughed, you know, because it was a real good feeling that I know how to choose and pick too. I don't choose it as a first single because I did it. I choose it as the first single because it sounds good, it feels good, and it's something everybody can get into. Everybody's got a vibe about themselves. You know what I mean? You know, just like when I said I like your shoes, you know, that's like a good vibe, a person with a good vibe. Some people come in here, you know, you have nice shoes, they'll say it to themselves and be afraid to say it to you, you know. That's another vibe. So what I did is turn that around, that negative vibe that girl did not speak back, into something positive, you know. Now that girl is probably walking around right now, bobbing her head to vibes and don't even know she inspired the song. You know what I mean? But then again, if she'd have stopped and talked to me, I probably would have never came up with vibe. So, you know, it's tripped out, but I'm kind of glad in the way she didn't speak to me, you know. But I say to all girls, you know, if a guy come to you nice and speak to you in a nice way, there's nothing wrong with saying hello. You know, now if they come, yo, baby, what's up? You know, come talk to me, homie. You know, then that's a different thing because I've seen guys do that. You know, and me and my guys, we don't get that image. We talk to a lady, we speak to them nice. Sometimes we get upset though when they don't speak back. I got upset that day because I know I'm a good guy. You know, I'm one of the good guys. Our thing is sort of like a Robin Hood, you know, and it's men, that type of thing. It's not the other side of that big wall, you know. You know, me and my boys always say that a lot of guys mess it up for the good guys, you know, because of the fact. But a girl ought to be able to distinguish. If a guy come up to you and say, hello, how you doing, you know, or just in passing, hi, how are you, you know, wouldn't hurt to smile and say hi. But them guys, this girl walking straight and this guy stumbling toward her, what's up, baby, what's going on, you know. Pass them up, cross the street quick, call the police. Yeah, but it's cool, it's fun, you know. It's unbelievable how people recognize me now, you know. That's exciting. The magic of it all is when someone comes up to you and say, I bought your album, that don't even know you. It's amazing when we went to Europe and we went to Europe and we did like 10 shows, and each show, everyone knew Vibe from beginning to end. Kind of gave me a rest, you know, let them sing it sometimes, you know. And it's amazing to see someone overseas sing a song of yours. I don't know if people really realize the magic of that. That's magic. I'm a weird scientist, like in the basement, way over in Chicago, way over in New York, I mean somewhere, in America. And way overseas, people are singing Vibe, you know. And when I'm in concert over there, they're singing it. And after I walk the streets, they'll walk up to me. I bought your album, I really love it, it's great. That's the magic of it all. The record company and all of this and that, it's cool, and that's what get it out there, and I appreciate that. But it's so much magic in a person being touched right here when they hear something on the radio, and then they decide for themselves to go into the record store and buy it. That feels good. Just like that feeling in the classroom. It wasn't 40 million, billion people there. It was about 50 people. But it was the best feeling in the world to me. You know, I had never experienced a feeling like that. You know, and I want to keep it coming, you know. My plans for the future is to do movies. I want to design. I design a lot of my stuff for my videos and stuff. I want to put my music to soundtrack and make actual movies. I want to do a movie on myself, because there is something about me, and people tell me this all the time, but there is something about me that I feel the world should see, you know, because I got like 4 or 5 personalities, and I'm finally admitting it, and I feel good admitting it, you know. I feel good admitting it. If you listen to the album, there's like 3 or 4 different personalities on the album. Voice tones and key changes, you know. There's a lot of moody things on it if you listen to it for the first time. And I want to put that to film. I got a lot of ideas, you know. I choreograph, I write, I do my background, I do my music, you know. I don't feel, from meeting Miss McGlynn, and I say this humbly, I don't feel that there's anything that I couldn't do musically, you know. I feel I can do anything, and I say that humbly, because she inspired me, my mother, my godmother, and Lena McGlynn, they inspired me to do anything musically. And it's kind of touching to say, but I love them, and you know, every time I do a song, I think about them, because they made me feel like I can do anything. You know, we all feel good. My friends, family, everybody is just proud of me that of the fact that I'm finally doing it, because I've had so many promises in the past that you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and with all of those promises and those letdowns, and not sitting by the phone shaking and rocking and waiting for it to ring, it never rang, you know. And it helped me to be stronger. It didn't. Anytime I got knocked down, I had people around me to keep me standing, pick me up. Hey, get that. That's just one. That's just one company. It's millions. You got 1 million more companies to go. Somebody gonna want you, you know. And it helped me to keep going, you know. And I say that to anybody out there that's struggling, trying to make it in this business. It's gonna happen, you know. It's gonna happen. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I know where I'm going. You know, and I know how hard I work to get there, and it can't do nothing but happen. It becomes a part of nature. I cried when when Donny Hathaway died. I wasn't even old enough to know who he was. I found out. I used to listen to his records all the time. Then I asked my mother, "Mama, could you take me to see Donny Hathaway?" And then she told me, "Donny Hathaway's not living, baby." But I listened to his music so much that I felt I knew him. And I cried when she told me he died. It was like he died when I was, you know, at that age, that day, you know, because anything my mother said, it was official, that was it. He's not living. Well, what happened to him? You know, he died, you know, and I cried, you know. It was crazy, man. I've listened to Tony, Guy. I used to listen to a lot of Gap Band, which I still do listen to Gap Band sometimes. But Who else? What's that other group? I listen to a lot of gospel music, the whiners. I listen to a lot of whiners. I'm a writer myself, so nowadays I hear something on the radio and I say, okay, I'm gonna go get that and I'm gonna start listening to that for about a month because it's inspiring. You know, and I listen to it, run my friends crazy, everybody say, oh, you play, man? Yeah, it's a nice song, you know. And I keep playing that, and then I get inspired, and then I might write a song. But I was gonna say, I wanted to say he didn't see me because he was in the bathroom with the door closed, but he didn't know the door was closed. But he was in the washroom, and I said, Stevie Wonder, I'm R. Kelly. I gotta let you know, you're my idol, and I don't know what else to say. That's what I told him. And then my friends started, Larry and them started saying what I was trying to say. Then I cut them back off and said, wait. Listen, I used to slow your records up, and I used to do your runs and stuff, and I'm gonna give you an example of a run. So I gave him an example of a run I used to slow up. For instance, like, oh, I bet you someone approached you yesterday to tell you that you would be jamming. You would not believe it because you never thought that you would be jamming. And at the end, I started laughing because I was so excited that I'm sitting here singing for Stevie Wonder in the bathroom. I mean, come on. Then my friends was tripping on me because they never seen me act frantic over anybody. But then again, I've never met anybody I grew up listening to, except for Gladys Knight, you know. But Stevie Wonder was the one and really instilled in my heart as far as I would love to meet Stevie Wonder, you know. And that was an experience for me. And then he said, oh, thanks, man. You know, he talked like he was in there smiling. And I said, thank you, man. Thank you. You know, you a big reason why I'm here. And I want a lot of kids. I want kids to run up to me. I want people to run up to me and say that to me. You can't remember anything bad about Stevie Wonder. I want people to come up to me and say, R. Kelly, you're a big reason why I'm here and you don't even know me, you know? But my music is here to meet everybody. It wants to meet and greet everybody. When you hear my music, I want it to reach out and like almost shake your hand and then get to know you and be friends, you know, walk down the streets together, you know. I'm not in it to be here one day. You know, I'm born into the 90s. You know, I'm here to live forever and ever.